So since he is sharing the mood of Radharani, he is feeling very much separation from Krishna. So in Jagannath Puri, you got a very beautiful combination. We have Lord Jagannath, who is Krishna, feeling separation from Radharani. And we have Lord Chaitanya, who is also Krishna, feeling separation from Krishna. So two rasas are mixing. It becomes very sweet. And when Ramananda comes in there as Vishaka, you can imagine, it gets even more exciting. Can't imagine the combination. And Ramananda is very, very special because he's also Arjuna in Krishna Lila. He's also Pandavas, one of the Pandavas. He's also Arjuna. And as we know, Krishna and Arjuna are also Narayan. They're always together. They're never separated. So this meeting of Ramananda and Lord Chaitanya is very specially described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And their conversation is also described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is very wonderful. Depending on how much time we have, we can go through some of that conversation, which I'm sure you all senior devotees are familiar with. But I'm just reading for my own purification, not to explain or teach anything. I'm not a learned scholar. I'm just repeating Prabhupada's words. So Ramananda is meeting with, I will just describe the first part of their meeting, and then the actual conversation I will share screen if I'm allowed to. Then we can read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very beautiful discussion. What the goal of life. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling to South India, he was informed by Sarvam Bhattacharya. When you go to South India, you go to Godavari River on the banks, you'll meet a great personality. Even though he's a governor, a minister, a politician, but he's a great devotee, and his name is Ramananda Raya. He's a very great Krishna devotee, and he's not born in a high-class Brahmin family. But still, in spite of being in the lower caste, he's a great Vaishnava. You should go and meet him and give a mercy to him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the bank of Godavari, hoping to meet him. So when Mahaprabhu took his bath and he was on the bank of the river, he saw some government official coming with hundreds of Brahmanas chanting his glories and his associates, ministers. And then when Mahaprabhu looked at him, immediately understood this must be Ramananda. So I'm just describing briefly how they met, and they had beautiful exchanges, loving exchanges, and they embraced each other. They went into ecstasy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sarvam Bhattacharya told me about you, that you are a great Vaishnava. And Ramananda is saying, no, I'm not Vaishnava, I'm just a Shudra. How can you say? I'm just a government official, I'm a minister, I'm dealing with all materialistic things. I'm not a great devotee. You are the Supreme Lord himself, you are Narayan. Lord Chaitanya is saying, no, I'm just a Mayavadi sannyasi. Each one is putting themselves down and saying, feel embarrassment. Why you want to say I'm great sannyasi, I'm great, I'm the Lord, I'm not Narayan, I'm just a Mayavadi sannyasi. So like this, they had beautiful exchanges, and then when they embraced each other, they're feeling great ecstasy. And the Brahmanas are wondering, who is this sannyasi? He's embracing a Shudra and is feeling ecstasy. So their calculation only that much, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They can't go beyond that. They are saying, what is this ecstasy? This is not in the Karma Kanda. It's not mentioned there. Their knowledge is also limited to Karma Kanda. These things are unknown. So they couldn't understand. Then Mahaprabhu understood that these people are going to misunderstand the whole thing and they think something is wrong here. And they'll speak ill of Krishna consciousness. So he told Ramananda, I come in the evening. We'll catch up in the evening and don't bring all these chelas with you. You come alone. So then Ramananda understood this is something very special. This class can't be attended by everyone. It has to be, Karma Kanda is not allowed, no entrance. So actually, Hare Krishna, Nalikanto, so nice to see you, my good doctor. Whole family is there. Jai. So when Ramananda said, okay. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got invitation for lunch from one of the Brahmanas, as normally would happen. Went for lunch in the evening. After lunch, taking rest, he came in the evening, took bath in the Godavari river, and he waited for Lord Chaitanya to come. Ramananda to come. So let's, can I share screen? We'll just read that part. Yes, I can. Yeah. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. I picked up the chapter 8, the section, because the chapter is so big, we have limited time. So I just picked a few verses so that we can relish the sweetness of the conversation. And the beauty of this conversation is they start from the very basics of Dharma all the way to the highest level of Radha and Krishna, Radha Krishna Prem. So it actually goes to the very highest level. And it's very amazing how Lord Chaitanya goes on asking questions from Ramananda. Ramananda goes on speaking. And this is a very beautiful set of verses. So it would be nice if devotees can take turns reading. I'll also read a few verses, and I'll just go by the Zoom sequence. Zoom has its own sorting sequence. So I can see Raj's iPhone. I can't see you properly. Anybody can read from there, text 55. This is 8th chapter, Madhya Leela, text 55. Before that, we'll chant the invocation verse. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So text 55. Can Raj Prabhu, who's there? Raj iPhone. Can you come online? Or maybe Nitai Patu, we can start text 55 too.
Hare Krishna, sure Prabhuji. After finishing his evening bath, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat down and waited for Ramananda Rai to come. Then Ramananda Rai, accompanied by one servant, came to meet him. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Next one.
Ramananda Rai approached Lord Sri Chaitanya and offered his respectful obeisances, and the Lord embraced him. They then began to discuss Krishna in a secluded place. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Ramananda Rai, recite a verse from the revealed scriptures concerning the ultimate goal of life.
So this is the question. This is the big question. What is the ultimate goal of life? That's the discussion. Thank you, Prabhu. So then I'll request who is next. Naika Mataji, can you read next 3 verses? You're on mute.
It's verse 58.
Yeah, 58.
Prabhuji.
Are you able to see from your phone?
Yeah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is worshipped by the proper execution of prescribed duties in the system of Varna and Ashram. There is no other way to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One must be situated in the institution of the 4 Varnas and Ashrams. The Lord replied, "This is external. You had better tell me of some other means." Ramananda continued, "My dear son of Kunti, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give in charity, and whatever austerities you perform, all the results of such activities should be offered to me, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead."
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much for reading. So you can see that already Ramananda has given 2 answers. First one is to follow Varnashrama. Varnashrama Acharet. From the Vishnu Puran he quoted. And Mahaprabhu rejected that. Following Varnashrama, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This classification is not the highest goal of life. Because all it is aimed for is you do dharma, practice religion for artha, to get some material gain. Then you practice dharma for kama, to enjoy that gain. When you get some money, you want to enjoy that money. And then after that kama, you get fed up of enjoying. Then you go for moksha. This is not satisfying and it's not the highest goal of life. So Mahaprabhu rejected that. Then in text 60, Ramananda gave I quoted from the Bhagavad Gita. Can anyone guess which sloka is telling here?
Krishna Prabhuji, yat kroshi, yat achnashi, yat tuhasi dadas, yat tapasi, tat kushva mat arpanam.
Fantastic. Very good.
Bhagavad Gita 9.27.
You got all Auckland Pandits here. Jai. I'm so glad. You people haven't lost your touch. What I saw 2 years ago is still there, going strong. Very good. So whatever you eat, whatever you give away, do it as an offering to me. Krishna is saying offer it. In other words, do whatever you want, but you offer the result to me. So what does Lord Chaitanya say to that? We'll see in text 61. I'll request Nanduras Prabhu to kindly read text 61.
61. Lord Chaitanya replied, this is also external. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please proceed and speak further on this matter. Ramananda Raya replied, to give up one's occupational duties in the Varnashrama system is the essence of perfection. Text number 62. Ramananda Raya continued, occupational duties are described in the religious scriptures. If one analyzes them, he can fully understand their qualities and faults and then give them up completely to render service unto the Supreme Person of Godhead. Such a person is considered a first-class man. Should I do 63, Babu?
I will stop here. So here, what is Prabhu? You can summarize these two verses. We just read.
Okay, Ramananda Raya is giving another third reason. He says, just do your occupational duty and give the result to the Supreme Person of Godhead. And that is compared as one who does this is considered a first-class man. So basically doing occupational duty and giving all the result to the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. So this is also called karma tyag. Karma tyag, where you do the karma and you sacrifice the results. Or karma phala tyag also is called karma phala tyag. Both are synonymously used. Okay, very good. So now we'll go to text 63. Nalnikant Prabhu and this Krishna Kanti there. Who all is there? You are on mute, Nalnikant Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I read from 64.
63.
63. Okay. As stated in scripture, Bhagavad Gita 18.66, after giving up all kinds of religious and occupational duties, if you come to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and take shelter, I will give you protection from all of life's sinful reaction. Do not worry.
64.
After hearing Ramananda Raya speak in this way, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again rejected his statement and said, go ahead and say something more.
Okay, we'll stop there for a minute. So, Nalnikant Prabhuji, why when Ramananda Raya gave Sarvadharman Pariteja, which is the final conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, why do you think Lord Chaitanya rejected that?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear not the external essence of Krishna consciousness, but the internal essence of Krishna consciousness from Ramananda Raya.
Yes, sorry, Mataji.
Maybe Lord Chaitanya, Hare Krishna Prabhu, maybe
Yes,
Lord
ma'am.
Chaitanya here wants that how to reach the level of prem.
Oh, correct. Very good. That's the point. You see, most of the Vedic literature is aimed at dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, right? So what does in 1866, what does Krishna give? He is not giving Krishna prem. He is saying Sarvadharma Pariteja, Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. If you surrender to me, what do we get? Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshesham. I'll free from all sinful reactions. So still on the base of action reaction, it's on the karma level. Masucha. So Arjuna is worried about going to hell. Utnato, I'll stop you. I'll save you from going to hell. That much I can tell you. But there's no prema there. Actually, Krishna doesn't give prema very easily at all. He first is demanding surrender. Then he's giving you protection. He's giving shelter. Sharanagati, on Sharanagati. but he is not offering Krishna Prem. Krishna Prem is another dimension. That's why Mahaprabhu came to give Krishna Prem. Even though Krishna had Krishna Prem, he didn't give Krishna Prem. Radharani gives, that is her department. That's why she is called Prem Ras Dani. One gives a dan of Prem Ras. So without Radharani, you cannot get Prem. There's no way. So Krishna is not giving it out so easily. He does not even give Bhakti that easily. What to speak of Prem Bhakti? So that's why Lord Chaitanya is not satisfied. He's saying, no, this is too hard. And another reason Lord Chaitanya rejected this was because in Kali Yuga, who is going to surrender? Lord Chaitanya knew. People will read this and they'll recite the shloka and get shloka competition prize, but they'll not surrender. At the most, they'll recite in the programs, in the festivals or in the classes, but to actually surrender Kali Yuga, nobody is going to do that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also was not satisfied from that point of view as well, which is why Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya to remove that barrier to surrendering, because the Kali Yuga Vasis don't want to surrender. So that's why Lord Chaitanya said, no, my mission is more than that. That Krishna did already. Now I am come as Lord Chaitanya. I'm going to take it one step further. So thank you for that. So let's go to text 65. Mataji, can you read also? Who is there? Krishna Kant is there? No. Okay.
Hare
Hey,
Krishna. So text 65, Ramananda Raya continued. According to the Bhagavad Gita, one who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never limits or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me.
Thank you. Very nice reading. Okay. Mom can read the next verse.
After hearing this, the Lord, as usual, rejected it, considering it to be external devotional service. He again asked Ramananda Rai to speak further, and Ramananda Rai replied, pure devotional service without any touch of speculative knowledge is the essence of perfection.
Okay, Mataji, what do you understand from these two verses, 65 and 66?
That these processes are external. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that this is external devotional service, but it is not loving. You're not giving your heart in this.
Correct. Yes. Because see, in the text 65, he's saying Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, that is, isn't it? That's the Brahmabhuta Prasannatma from 18th chapter. Brahmabhuta Prasannatma. Prasanna means happy. But what kind of happiness is that? Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, what kind of happiness it is?
External happiness.
It is called Brahmananda.
Brahmana.
It's also one kind of Ananda. See, you know that different levels of existence, 5 levels of existence, they're called the koshas, right? First is Annamaya, where one is looking for food. That's just food only. Then Pranamaya, how to defend yourself. You got food now, you're feeling good. Now how to, where are the enemies? Defending. So Annamaya, then Pranamaya comes next. Then after that comes Manomaya, how to enjoy. That's the next level, mind, Manomaya. When it goes beyond Manomaya, then one goes to Jnanamaya. Then goes to where he realizes that I'm not the body. Aham Brahmasmi. But that Jnanamaya also is theoretical knowledge only. Even though I say I'm not this body for the last 30 years in ISKCON, I'm saying, but I still think I'm the body. Even though we say that, but we actually don't act on that. So that is called Jnanamaya platform. That is also not the highest. Then Vijnanamaya platform, where one starts realizing that I am part and parcel. Mame Vamsha Jivaloke Jivabhuta Sanatana, part and parcel of Krishna. That's called Vijnanamaya. That's a higher realization. That not only I'm eternal, but I'm part and parcel of the supreme eternal, Krishna. So that is the Vijnanamaya level. But even that is also not fully realized, because there is only limited understanding still. But then when it comes to the Prasannatma, Brahmananda platform, one gets the Brahman realization. And what is the symptom of that? One becomes joyful, Prasannatma, na sochati na kankshati. So to come to that level, one has to be beyond hankering and lamenting. What do we do in this material world? We're hankering for something we don't have, and we're lamenting for something we had when we lost. Isn't it? Hankering is for the future, lamenting is the past. We don't live in the present. Right? So this is why we are always agitated. The mind is always agitated. Therefore, it's not Prasannatma. So one gets beyond hankering lamentation. One comes to the Brahmavota platform. This is called a Brahmananda. One experiences Brahmananda. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Brahmananda is nothing but absence of suffering. It's not real happiness. And he gives example of a prisoner in a dunking tank. No? A prisoner is pushed in a tank of water and is held underwater for a long time and is struggling, is about to die, suffocating. Suddenly they'll release him. Then he can breathe again. He says, oh, this is such joy. I feel so happy. But that is not real happiness. It's simply the end of suffering. And as soon as he feels happy that he can take a breath, then again he's pushed back in again. So like this is going on and on. This material world is like that. You get a little breather and then again you push down. You get a little breather, again you push down. It's one calamity after another, one calamity after another. So hankering lamentation. Na sochati na kangsha. One has to go beyond that to come to Brahma to the platform. But even then, sama sarveshu bhuteshu, then one can be equal to all. But even that is not the highest. Because Brahmananda, beyond Brahmananda, is Premananda. And Rupa Goswami describes in Nectar of Devotion that a drop of this Premananda cannot equal ocean of Brahmananda. Just take one drop of Premananda. It's far greater than. That one drop is greater than Brahmananda, ocean of Brahmananda. So Brahmananda is nothing, very insignificant. It's simply absence of suffering. How long can you be happy with absence of suffering? We want positive enjoyment. As a soul, Anandamaya Bhyasa, soul wants positive engagement, spiritual happiness. Unless that is there, one will not be able to feel satisfied. That is the constitution of the soul. So that's why that does not, it may be equal disposed to everyone living being. And beyond that equality comes devotion service. Then one engages in devotion service. But this devotion service is on the neutral platform. It's Shantarasa only. It is not based on actual feeling of prema. It's more of awe and reverence from a distance. It's very distant and very formal kind of love based on awe and reverence. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not, he's after all Radharani, right? Mode of Radharani. How will he accept awe and reverence? That is not the mode of Radharani at all. It doesn't fit. So that's why he rejects it at this stage. Even though he's beginning now, he's touching devotion service, but still it is a Shantarasa stage only. Because it's Shantarasa, therefore it does not satisfy. Okay, so let's keep reading. We have now come to text 67. I can't see anymore. All the windows are closed after this. Who is available? I don't know. I'll only call out the names. I know at least people. Kadam Khan Prabhu can read. Or anyone in your family who's there. 67.
Ramananda Rai continued. Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord, those devotees who have thrown away the impersonal conception of the absolute truth and have therefore abandoned discussing empiric philosophical truths should hear from self-realized devotees about your holy name, form, pastimes, and qualities. They should completely follow the principles of devotional service and remain free from illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and animal slaughter. Surrendering themselves fully with body, words, and mind, they can live in any ashrama or social status. Indeed, you are conquered by such persons, although you are always unconquerable.
The next verse also.
At this point, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, that is all right, but you still can speak more on the subject.
So why did Lord Chaitanya say it's all right, Kadam Khan Prabhu?
Here he's starting to touch on devotional service.
Right. And what is most significant about text 67? What is the starting point of devotional service? When you
hear from self-realized devotees.
Yes.
And then
he is mentioning throw away the impersonal conception.
Right.
That's the biggest hurdle, isn't it? The attraction to the impersonal conception. As long as one is attracted to the Brahman Jyoti and not to the person form of the Lord, there's no possibility of doing devotional service. So that stage of realization is, yes, it's getting there, but still following Varnashrama rules and is just gone beyond Brahman level realization. So that's still not there yet. Well, let's go to text 69. Okay, was one. Surit Krishna Prabhu, is there 69? Is there Prabhu? Or anybody? Actually. Oh, Bhagavati Mataji is there? Amita Charan Prabhu. Okay, any volunteers to read 69?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Text 69, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Ramananda Raya continued, as long as there is hunger and thirst within the stomach, varieties of food and drink make one feel very happy. Similarly, when the Lord is worshipped with pure love, the various activities performed in the course of that worship awaken transcendental bliss in the heart of the devotee.
Very good.
Next verse as well.
So, yeah, okay, read the next one.
Text 70. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activity in hundreds and thousands of lives. It can be attained only by paying one price, that is intense greed to obtain it. If it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay.
Very nice. So, can we have 71 also, Ishita Mataji? 71?
Yeah. Text 71. Hearing up to the point of spontaneous love, the Lord said, "This is all right, but if you know more, please tell me."
Yeah. So, what is this level that Ramananda has described in these two verses?
So here Ramananda Rai, he's talking about pure devotional service. He's giving the importance of pure devotional service. And by performing activities of devotional service, one's transcendental, in the heart of the devotee, transcendental bliss arises.
Yes.
That's the
This is Raganuga Bhakti. Thank you, Ishita Mataji. This is
spontaneous.
Raganuga Bhakti. This stage is Raganuga. So in sadhana bhakti, first stage is sadhana bhakti, second is bhava bhakti, third is prema bhakti, right? 3 levels of bhakti. In sadhana bhakti, there are 2 categories again. There is Vaidhi bhakti and there is Raganuga bhakti. In Vaidhi bhakti, one follows the rules and regulations. One has no love for the Lord. One has no love for devotion service, but says, "Oh, I have to get up Mangalarti, okay, I'll get up. Even though I don't feel like it, I'm not attracted to it." We're chanting Hare Krishna because I've been asked to chant by my Guru Maharaj. I promise, so I'm doing it. I'm not really, feeling ecstasy. So that kind of chanting is still Vaidhi Bhakti, still appreciated by the Lord, but it's not the highest. But this one is talking about the next level, where one has intense greed, laulyam. Intense greed to obtain that. That is the result of pure devotion service, where one becomes spontaneous devotion service, where one is attracted to serve the Lord. When one feels attraction and one feels happiness, makes one feel happy. So still we are thinking, identifying with our feelings, still our feelings. So it is not on the highest level of prema, but it is already beyond Vaidhi Bhakti. It's now come to Raganuga Bhakti, which is a higher part of the sadhana bhakti, where one is spontaneously attracted to the Lord and devotion service. So that's why Lord Chaitanya is saying, that is all right. But if you know more, please tell me. So he is asking for more. Thank you, Ishita Mataji. Very good. I'll go to text 72. Any volunteers to read 72? Varun Prabhu, yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. A man becomes purified simply by hearing the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose lotus feet create the holy places of pilgrimage. Therefore, what remains to be attained by those who have become his servants?
73.
By serving you constantly, one is freed from all material desires and is completely pacified. When shall I engage as your permanent eternal servant and always feel joyful to have such a perfect master?
24.
Hearing this from Ramananda Rai, the Lord again requested him to go a step further. In reply, Ramananda Rai said, Loving service to Krishna rendered in fraternity is the highest perfection.
Thank you, Varun Prabhu. So here we're going one step further now. From the Shantarasa now is come to Dasya. Yes,
Okay.
Dasya. Like the word of Hanuman. So it's master and servant relationship.
Okay.
So there is a beautiful loving relationship now. It's not on reverence anymore. Because on reverence is still there. It's not limited to that. There is affection. So when Hanuman was asked by Lord Ram, what do you want? For all the service you have done, I would like to give you some gift in exchange. What does Hanuman ask for?
A place near his lotus feet.
Yeah. He asked for a hug. Give me a hug. No social distancing. Give me a hug. Forget social distancing. So you see that picture of Lord Ram embracing Hanuman. You see that many times. Hanuman was just saying, that's all I want from you. Just give me a hug. So this is now, it is gone. There is on reference, like you said, Lord Hanuman is always at the lotus feet of Lord Ram, but there is also the feeling of more intimate affection. It's not just a master-servant relationship. Because in a master-servant relationship, it's, do as you are told. There's not that same level of intimacy. See, what has changed from the Shantarasa to the Dasya Rasa, both are love of God, but in Dasya Rasa, the intimacy is more than the Shantarasa. Shantarasa is from a distance. It's more like Vaikuntavasis. They don't go and embrace the Lord. So that is why it's very limited. In Vaikuntha Dham, the devotees don't go and embrace the Lord. Even though it's mentioned that Lord Narayan does kiss and hug, you embrace Lakshmi Devi. He does that. He does give her, and because of his kiss on her forehead, she becomes so beautiful. And because of his embrace, her beauty has become, out of this world. She becomes very beautiful. Her beauty is not there until he embraces her. Until he touches her, her beauty is not appreciated. All her beauty comes from this loving exchange. But it's very limited in Vaikuntha, this type of dealing with Lord Narayan. Whereas come to Ayodhya Dham, Lord Ram and Hanuman, that is more intimate there. Okay, we'll go to text 75. Who would like to read next? Next volunteer.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Vijay, Hare Krishna.
Bilwa Mangal.
Bilwa Mangal to Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 75. Neither those engaged in the self-realization of appreciating the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, nor those engaged in devotional service while accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Master, nor those under the clutches of Maya, thinking the Lord an ordinary person, can understand that certain exalted personalities, after accumulating volumes of pious activities, are now playing with the Lord in friendship as cowherd boys.
76, Prabhuji.
The Lord said, "This statement is very good, but please proceed even further."
So you can kindly explain what this level is in 75.
Okay, I think he's talking about Sakya,
Yes,
friendship
correct.
with the Lord.
Yes.
Cowhead boys and the gopis and so on.
Yeah.
So it's still not right, the perfect stage.
Yes. So that's more intimate than the servant and master.
Yes, it is.
But
Yeah.
now they're getting more intimate, definitely. And that's why Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj are discussing what have these boys done, what punya they have done to play with Krishna like he's their friend. And the relationship is so strong that when Yashoda Mata calls Krishna and Balram, come home, you have to have lunch now, you have to have prasadam. It's getting late. And the friends are going, don't go. If you go now, we won't play with you. So Krishna gets scared now. What now to choose between mother or actually first father Nanda Maharaj calls. He ignores completely. Nanda Maharaj is not too concerned. when Yashoda Mata calls, he gets a bit scared of her. And then he looks at his friends. They're saying, if you're going, that's it. No more playing. He's thinking whether he should please his friends or he should please his mother. This is the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, having Dharma Sankat. Which is my right? Which is my right? What should I do? Should I listen to my friends or should I listen to mom? And he's very scared, very much worried. Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's not getting very intimate now. At this point, the Lord forgets that he is the Lord. Up to Dasya Ras, the Lord maintains his position as the Lord, as Bhagavan, as Ishvara, Parameshwara. But now that Ishvara Bhav is taken away, and he has become now friends. He sees his friends as friends. And he sees himself as a coward boy. He doesn't see himself as Bhagavan. That stage is gone now. Whereas in Shanta and Dasya Ras, there is very much Aishwarya, Bhagavan is there. But in the stage of Sakya, friendship, the Bhagavan feature is gone. But of course, Lord Chaitanya is saying that's not enough. There is more. I'd like to know more. Okay, so who is the lucky next one to read text 77?
I'll read it, Prabhu, if no one's there.
Thank you, Vishaka Mataji. You read the Lilamrita so nicely. I was hearing your League of Devotees, Jhansi.
Thank you, Prabhu. Ramananda Rai continued, O Brahmana, what pious activities did Nanda Maharaj perform by which he received the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as his son? And what pious activities did Mother Yashoda perform that made the absolute Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, call him mother and suck her breasts? The favor Mother Yashoda obtained from Sri Krishna, the bestower of liberation, was never obtained even by Lord Brahman or Lord Shiva, nor even by the goddess of fortune, who always remains on the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. The Lord said, your statements are certainly getting better and better one after the other. But surpassing all of them is another transcendental mellow, and you can speak of that as the most sublime.
Okay, which level is this one? This.
Vatsalya Ras?
Yes, very good. Very nice. So the Lord has become a helpless child who has to be fed by Mother Yashoda, otherwise he'll go hungry. Mother Yashoda is concerned about his health and well-being. So the Lord has now become dependent. Starting from Shantarasa, Dasyarasa, the Lord is the master, he is the Ishvara. In Sakya, where he is an equal of his friends, now has become dependent on the devotee. And this was a beautiful emotion, or a transcendental emotion experienced by the Lord when he appeared as Lord Narasimha Dev. When Lord Narasimha Dev appeared and he killed Hiranyakashipu, he had placed Prahlad on his lap, Bhakta Prahlad, and he was caressing him to make sure he is not injured by Hiranyakashipu. So when Lord Narasimha Dev was caressing Prahlad, he noticed that Prahlad Maharaj, little Prahlad, is enjoying more than him. And he said, hey, hang on, I'm supposed to be Bhagavan, but here is my devotee. He's enjoying more than me. He said, next avatar, I must come with mom and dad. And Narasimha Dev has no Bhagavan, no parents, right? He's Thanu Narasimha. He comes from the pillar. His father and mother is the pillar. Pillar gave birth to Lord Narasimha Dev. So pillar, he can't have mom and dad relationship. So next avatar, I'll make sure Vaman avatar he comes, he has mom and dad, Kashyapa and Aditi. So the Lord also he has a greed he's craving for this relationship. The Lord is also craving. Just as a devotee is craving, now the Lord has taken a subordinate position to the devotee. From equal, it has come to subordinate. From superior to equal to now subordinate. So in Siddhanta, Krishna is Ishvara Parama Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in Leela, he takes a lower position apparently. And as it gets more intimate, he takes a more and more subordinate position. And you'll see here that he is actually fully dependent on Mother Yashoda. He's scared of Mother Yashoda. Then Mother Yashoda chases him with a little stick. Damoda Leela, Damoda month is coming up. He's actually scared. He's not pretending to be scared. He's actually scared. The whole Leela is so perfect that he actually gets scared of Yashoda's stick. He has killed big demons like Putana, Pranavrata, Shakatasura. So many demons he killed. But Yashoda comes with a stick, he's scared. So this is where the Leela gets very intimate. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, now I'll go to text number 80. Who is the next lucky volunteer?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes.
I'm Revati Devi.
Okay, Revati Mataji, please go ahead.
From 80, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
When Lord Sri Krishna was dancing with the gopis in Rasalila, the gopis were embraced around the neck by the Lord's arms. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or other consorts in the spiritual world, nor was such a thing ever imagined by the most beautiful girls in the heavenly planets, the girls whose bodily luster and aroma resemble the beauty and arrogance of lotus flowers. And what to speak of worldly women who may be very, very beautiful according to the material estimation. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, one more please.
Suddenly, due to their feelings of separation, Lord Krishna appeared among the gopis dressed in yellow garments and wearing a flower garland. His lotus face was smiling and he was directly attracting the mind of Cupid.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. So now it has come to the level of the gopis.
Madhurya Rasa.
Madhurya Rasa, very good. Correct. Exactly. So Madhurya Rasa, that is a conjugal relationship.
Conjugal, yeah.
And what are the two types of Madhurya Rasa?
Studied and forgotten.
It's okay. It's okay. We're all learning. Don't worry. One is called Swakya, and it's called Parakya.
Swakya and Parakya. Yeah.
Can you explain those two, Mataji?
No, Prabhu.
It's okay. It's okay. Swakya is when he's married to them, like the queens of Dwarka. Krishna is married to the queens of Dwarka, officially married.
Yes.
That's called Swakya. With the gopis, is unofficially married.
Unofficially, yes.
He actually got married because when Brahma stole the cowherd boys, Krishna duplicated himself as cowherd boys. And that time the cowherd boys all got married to different gopis. So they all thought that different gopas are married to the gopis. But who was actually marrying the gopis?
Krishna.
Yeah, correct. Because Krishna was duplicating the gopas. So Krishna, as a duplicate gopa, got married to different gopis. And after 1 year, the cowherd boys returned by Brahma. And they went on thinking, oh, our marriage is over now. We went to sleep and now we got up. And now they're continuing. Of course, that time they are children, so they are still living separately. Later on, they were told, she is your wife, he is her husband. And that's how Abhimanyu got married to Radharani. But actually, that time, Abhimanyu's role was played by Krishna. So who actually married Radharani? It was Krishna only, not Radharani, not Abhimanyu. That's why Abhimanyu had no physical contact with Radharani. They didn't have any children or anything like that. Because they are Radharani is for Krishna only. But they got married so that Krishna can enjoy Parakya Rasa. Apparently not married. And then there was social stigma and all that adventure and getting caught and all the leelas here during Radhashtami and all wonderful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. All those are enabled only because Krishna is not married to Radharani. If they are married, that chapter would not be there. So this is the Pancham Adhyaya, Rasa Leela, Pancham Adhyaya, 5 chapters of Rasa Leela in the 10th canto. Is with the gopis who are apparently not married to Krishna. And their feelings of separation, as mentioned in text 81. And Krishna appears to mitigate that. And then you'll see at the end, again, Krishna again disappears. He doesn't stay with them. He disappears. And then the gopis start searching for him. And then they find two set of footprints. Radharani is also missing, Krishna is also missing. And they conclude, oh, Krishna has taken Radha and gone. And after some time, they go on searching for both of them. Then they find Radharani sitting there crying. They say, what happened? They say, Krishna left her also. First, they felt a little jealous of her. Oh, Radha is gone. We missed out. But later on, they saw that Radharani is also missing out. They felt sorry for her. They consoled her. Then they said, come, let's go together, search for Krishna. And Krishna is standing there in 400 form in disguise, like Narayan. And when the gopis saw Lord Narayan, they said, Namo Narayan, looking very nice, but where is Krishna? They're interested in Narayan. They don't care for Narayan. They're so much interested. That's what Rupa Goswami says. All devotees are good, but devotees of Krishna are the best. Why is that? All devotees are good, but devotees of Krishna are the best because they're not attracted to any other form of the Lord. They will not compromise. They want only Shyam Sundar, nobody else. Not Vaikuntanath, not Narayan, not any other form. Not Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu. They don't want anybody. They only want Shyamsundar Krishna. That is the Krishna from Braj. So that is the original form Krishna that form attracted the gopis, and who is I think we're running out of time now, isn't it? It's supposed to finish. Is that number 2? The time up? No?
Yeah, but we can take 10 more minutes. Okay, you can go.
Let's see if we can sneak in a few more shlokas. Just you put up a hand or something, give me an indication you want to stop. I'll stop. But I just give you a gist of what is coming up. So, but it's nice to read the original words. No? Okay, who is ready to read next verse? 83. Anybody?
I can read again.
Okay, Varun, you're lucky.
It is true that whatever relationship a particular devotee has with the Lord is the best for him. Still, when we study all the different methods from a neutral position, we can understand that there are higher and lower degrees of love. Increasing love is experienced in various states, one above another. But that love, which has the highest taste in the gradual succession of desires, manifests itself in the form of conjugal love. Do you want me to read the next one as well?
Yeah, next one. Yeah, next one.
There is a gradual order of improvement in transcendental mellows from the initial ones to the later ones. In each subsequent mellow, the qualities of the previous mellows are manifested, counting from 2, then 3, and up to the point of 5 complete qualities. As the qualities increase, so the taste also increases in each and every mellow. Therefore, the qualities found in the Shanta Rasa, Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa are all manifested in conjugal love, Madhurya Rasa. The qualities in material elements, sky, air, fire, water, and earth, increase one after another by a gradual process of 1, 2, and 3. And at the last stage, in the element earth, all 5 qualities are completely visible.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you. So this is the 5 rasas have been compared to the 5 material elements. Now you can see the comparison, because each rasa contains the previous rasa and that one. It goes on. So the last Madhurya rasa has got everything. It's got Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya. All of them are there in the Madhurya rasa. That's the considered topmost rasa. Similarly, the 5 elements you see in sky, earth, water, air, fire, air, ether. Ether is sky. In sky, there's only sound is possible. But in air, you got sound and you got touch also.
Touch, yes.
And in fire, what is activated?
Sound, touch, and shape.
No, sound is sight. Sight. Yeah, sound is there. Sound. Yeah, sound, touch, and shape. Correct. And water, what is added?
Water, there was
Taste.
Taste.
Yes, very good. Yeah. Taste is added. Correct. And finally, earth has got what's the extra sense?
Fragrance?
Yes, very
fragrance,
good.
Yes.
Very good. Fragrance. So earth has got all of them. It's got touch, it's got sound, it's got smell, fragrance, it's got sight, can see it, it's got form. So similarly, all the rasas are included in Madhurya rasa, conjugal love. Very good. Okay, 88. Who's next? Who would like to read next?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Can I read?
Of course, Mataji.
Okay. Danvat Pranam to all the assembled devotees. Complete attainment of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna is made possible by love of Godhead, specifically Madhurya Ras or conjugal love. Lord Krishna is indeed captivated by this standard of love. This is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Krishna told the gopis, the means by which attaining my favor is loving service unto me. And fortunately, you are all thus engaged. Those loving beings who render service unto me are eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world and attain eternal life with knowledge and bliss. Lord Krishna has made a firm promise for all time. If one renders service unto him, Krishna correspondingly gives him an equal amount of success in devotional service to the Lord. According to Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 4.11, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pratha. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Prabhuji.
So what is he saying here, Ramananda?
The love of Godhead. And this is the main thing that the gopis, their love for Krishna is the most supreme.
Yes.
And by rendering devotional service, we are able to attain the taste of this pure devotional service, Prabhu.
This loving service of gopi is so exalted that Krishna says that I have nothing to repay you. Krishna is saying, I'm broke. I don't have anything to give you. Equal to your service, I got nothing to give you. So what is the reward for the gopis then? Is there no reward? Krishna says, I can't repay you. I'm sorry. What does he offer them?
It's
They are
the
the
gopis'
topmost.
unconditional love for Krishna, that they don't want anything from Krishna, Prabhu.
True. Yeah. Vishakamataji, what did he say?
Sorry, Prabhu. Sorry for this. I was saying that's why they are the topmost devotees of the Lord, and no one they take the prime
Krishna,
post.
yeah, that's true. They're topmost devotees. Krishna says to them, you have to be satisfied with your own service. That's the reward. The reward is the service itself. Because devotional service is a privilege. We sometimes think it's hard work. Devotional service is actually a privilege. Not everyone gets that chance. So Krishna tells the gopis, if I give any reward, it will be short, it will be less than devotional service. You already got devotional service, the highest. I can't give anything higher than that. I don't have anything. That is the most valuable. You already have the most valuable thing. What can I give you? If somebody's got $1 million, you can't give them 5 cents. Doesn't make any sense. So you got pure devotional service. What can I give you? Kingdom? New life in the heavenly planets? Can I give you some position as a king of heaven? Indra or something? Brahma? Post? Insignificant. You already got the highest devotional service. You have to be satisfied with your own devotional service. I can't give you anything. I can't repay you. I'm indebted. One time Draupadi called out, Hey Krishna, hey Govinda, with both her hands raised. Krishna says, I'm eternally indebted to her for that call. Imagine what a powerful phone call that must have been. One call, hey Krishna, hey Govinda, one call. Krishna says, I'm eternally indebted to her. Draupadi's call. So when devotees are rendering service to the Lord feels completely helpless to repay them and match that. So finally he decides the only way out of this is I have to become devotee myself. I can't repay them, I can't do anything. And that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is Mahaprabhu coming back. And today we're talking about Ramananda Raya, a very special devotee. After he met Lord Chaitanya, then I'll just wrap up here. That Lord Chaitanya told him, you resign from your government job and come and meet me in Jagannath Puri. So Ramananda Raya went and told Prataprutra Maharaj King, so I want to resign, I want to work full time for Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan mission. He has called me to Puri. So Prataprutra was so kind. He said, you can retire immediately with full pension. You will get your full pension. Whatever the last paycheck you are drawing, you'll get that without having to, don't worry about your pay, it will come to you. Every month you'll get your salary. But you don't have to work, you go and serve Lord Chaitanya. Prataprutra Maharaj was so generous. His reciprocation. And Lord Chaitanya describes that actually Ramananda Raya is so special that he would write songs, he would write bhajans, he would write poems. He would even do choreographing of dances. He would dance, but the song that he wrote, there would be dance, choreographed. And he would choose 2 young girls to do the dance and he would bathe them with his own hands. Imagine giving birth to a young girl and not feel agitated at all. And then he would dress them up like dolls and then make them dance for the songs that he wrote glorifying Radha and Krishna. So it's such a transcendent. Lord Chaitanya said only Ramananda Raya can do that. Nobody else can dare to imitate that. So these are all very intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya. And Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Raya were the very close associates of Mahaprabhu in Puri. Lord Chaitanya enjoyed discussing Krishna Katha with them with such intimate books like Geet Govinda, very intimate Radha and Krishna pastimes. But he would also go to the Tota Gopinath temple and discuss Srimad Bhagavatam with Gadadhar Pandit. And it is said that his favorite pastimes are Prahlad Charita and Dhruv Charita. He loved talking about Prahlad Maharaj teachings, Prahlad Maharaj's character and his instructions. And he also liked to talk about Dhruv Maharaj. Those were his favorite pastimes in the Bhagavatam. But with Saurabh Damodar and Ramananda Raya, you discuss all the more intimate Radha and Krishna pastimes, not with the public, not in the public. So that's why these topics are restricted. And Prabhupada says, unless one is free from lust, one cannot understand these topics. Rather, if we start reading these topics prematurely, our lust will only increase, but it will not decrease. That's why Prabhupada wrote the Krishna book, because he thought he may not live long enough to complete 10th canto of Bhagavatam, sloka by sloka, word by word. So he wrote the summary first. Because he said this Rasa Leela 5 chapters and Krishna stealing the garments of the gopis, these cannot be explained by an ordinary human being. Only a great Acharya can do that. That's why he gave us those books. In the Krishna book, he gave the summary of those chapters. If we read those, written by Srila Prabhupada, those explanations, then our lust will actually decrease. But if we read commentaries by popular singers and kathakar, Bhagavad Sapta people, professionals, then our lust will increase. That's why they want to go straight to the Raslila. They don't spend much time on 9 cantos, jaldi khatam karo, then come to Raslila and talk more about that like a Bollywood story. But that's not Prabhupada's time. So he's giving us in this way to purify us and make us more and more fixed in devotion service in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mood of our Sampradaya, from our Guru Sampradaya. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It's great to see devotees of Auckland and be with you all. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you. If Nanda to say there's time for some question answer discussion, we can have, otherwise we can close as you wish. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we can take 1 or 2 questions if anybody got.
Okay, no problem. Oh, Varun has got a question.
Sorry, Prabhu, just one small question. Like yesterday only, I was reading the 2nd canto about Maharaj Dhruv and about the Dhruva planet and how that planet is, it does not dissolve itself when the whole universe dissolves itself. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to just understand from this conversation, what will be the relation or rasa that Maharaj Dhruv would have in terms of the penance that he performed to obtain the wish from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Would it be Dasya Rasa or I don't know. I mean, it's just a question.
Yeah. Dhruva Maharaj's journey, as you know, started with his wanting a kingdom bigger than his father, grandfather, bigger than Brahma also. So it started with a material motivation. And that category of devotees, at that stage, he was categorized as Chaturvida Bhajante Man Jana Sukrutina, as a pious person. But when he saw, Krishna doesn't come to pious people, he comes only to the devotees. So when he got the darshan of Lord Narayan and he got the touch of the Shankh on his head, Dhruva Maharaj became completely transformed. So then he's regretting that he even asked for a kingdom. Then the famous verse he quotes, where he said, I'm looking for a broken piece of glass, and I got a jewel of association. So that is definitely in the mood of awe and reverence. It's not the intimate relation. With Lord Narayan, you can only go that far. You cannot go beyond that. So there is Shantarasa or Dasyarasa at the most, a little bit of Dasyarasa, but that's about it. So it is a appreciation of the Lord's greatness and his Ishvara Bhava. And that is what Maharaj experienced.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can I ask a quick question?
You can try, Mataji, to answer.
Verse number 89, it says, when Lord Krishna told the gopis, the means of attaining my favor is loving service unto me. And fortunately, the gopis are all engaged in the loving service. And then in the next line, Krishna says, those living beings who render service unto me. He's not talking about loving service, though, are eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world and attain eternal life. So here, Krishna is talking about Vaikuntha lokas.
Correct. This is liberation. This is generally liberation. In odd reference, if one does devotion service, then Bhakti Amam Abhijanati, by devotion service that can be known as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but not in the more intimate rasas. In the intimate rasas, for example, the Raganuga level, one has to follow in the footsteps of the Ragatmika Bhaktas. Krishna does not give Raganuga Bhakti himself. That is given by the Ragatmika Bhaktas, like the Vrajabasis, who are already in that platform, and while following in their footsteps, you can get pure devotion service. That's why I forgot to mention this point. We read a couple of times. That favor is not even given to Lakshmi Devi. It's mentioned again and again. In few verses we read, right? Lakshmi doesn't get this benefit. Brahma, Shiva don't get it. Why? Because Lakshmi Devi is the queen of Vaikuntha. In order to get the favor of the gopis, the same as the gopis, one has to be born in Vrindavan as a Brajabasi and be trained by a gopi. And for that, Lakshmi has to forego her position as Lakshmi. She has to resign from that post and come down and make cow dung patties in Vrindavan. The gopis milk the cows, do all the gopis' duties, and give up her Aishwarya of Vaikuntha. And she was not prepared to do that. So she was not allowed to take part in the Ras Leela. So what is mentioned here is simply liberation. Liberation is relatively easy to get, but to get the intimate association of the Lord in Golok Vrindavan, that is very special. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. That's what Srimati Radharani is giving us. But is not available even from Lord Narayan. Liberation is any of the Samipya, Salokya, Sarupya, so many liberations are there, no? To go to the Vaikuntha planets. And that can be attained by devotion service.
So Prabhu, our aim should not be going to Vaikuntha Loka, or
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu changed us. He reprogrammed us. Yeah, reprogrammed now. Gopi Bharta Pada Kamala Dasa Dasanu Dasa. Gopi Bharta Pada Kamala. So that is our position now.
Thank
no
you.
longer Dharma Artha Kam Moksha gives Vaikuntha only at the most. Won't go beyond that. But this is taking us. Lord Chaitanya is not satisfied. And he's giving us Krishna Prem for people who are not willing to surrender even. Sarva Dharma Parityaja not possible, non-qualified. He's giving Krishna Prem. That's why it's called Namo Mahavadanya. What is he giving to all? It's like giving PhD to a 2-year-old. How can a 2-year-old get PhD? I mean, that's giving a mundane example. So like that, Kali Yuga Vasis are not qualified, but he's doing PhD, ultimate Krishna Prem. Krishna Prem Pradaya.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Pillavangal Prabhu.
Prabhuji, thank you very much for this vivid explanation, which was relished by all the participants. You are able to explain it so well. Thank you very much for that. And which part of Chaitanya Charitamrita is this conversation?
This is Madhya Lila chapter 8, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Just on this point, you mentioned that the gopis, their only reward is the devotional service. They should get satisfaction. So we are also doing devotional service, maybe not in the platform of the gopis, like pure devotional service. But you also mentioned the devotional service is very rare. So should we take it very seriously? Sometimes we say we are given service, but everything, we don't have this attraction. But here he says the gopis were satisfied just by the doing devotional service. That's the highest reward. Can you clarify a little bit more on that?
Yeah, sure, Prabhu, sure. Because devotional service is has got no material cost. I can't purchase it with money. I can't purchase bhakti with taking birth in a high-class Brahmin family. I cannot purchase bhakti with knowledge of all the Vedas and Upanishads. I cannot purchase bhakti as a demigod, having a post of a demigod like Brahma or Shiva. None of these are qualifications for getting bhakti. So therefore, what is the qualification of bhakti? Bhakti has to come from bhakti only. And bhakti comes from the bhakti of another bhakta. Even Krishna cannot give bhakti. This is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Madhuri Kadambini. He says, even Krishna cannot give bhakti. Why? Because if Krishna wants to give bhakti, he has to give to everybody. Otherwise, he'll be partial. So Krishna does not give. So what does he do? He empowers. It is described by Madhuri Kadambini that he gives the power of attorney to the Madhyamadhikari. And he says, you give bhakti to anybody you want, and I will go to them. So this privilege of bhakti is not even given by the Lord himself. It is given by the Lord's devotees, the pure devotees. That's why they're called Bhurida Jana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so in the Gopi Gita, Gopis call such personality like Srila Prabhupada as Bhurida Jana, most munificent. Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam. You know that song, that verse, huh? Beautiful. Yeah. So these are the most munificent devotees. So if we are getting a chance to do devotional service, we should understand we have come in that category. And I will say in my case, accidentally, not by any qualification. So devotees ask Srila Prabhupada the same question, how come we are getting bhakti like this? We are eating meat, hamburgers and all that. We go to McDonald's, we drink, we do all the pubs and everything. How did we get this? Where did good Sukruti come from? Srila Prabhupada said, I made you a good fortune. I made you a good fortune. So we are in that category somehow or other, without, at least in my case, I can say definitely without qualification. And now if we don't value that, then that is unfortunate, isn't it? We're not getting the point. And that happens too because we're not reading Prabhupada's books. That's my personal experience. And we're not chanting properly. These two things can be rectified, then we value devotion service. When we get it, we'll immediately realize how precious this is. We got this opportunity. And that too, we are born in the same yuga as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He comes once in a day of Brahma. We are born the same Kali Yuga Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. And furthermore, we are born the same Kali Yuga Lord Chaitanya came and Srila Prabhupada came. That's double mercy. And this is the golden age. It's triple mercy. Now, someone has got such a amazing good fortune. Why would he want to not make full use of it? That's my question. Right, Nandraj Prabhu?
Thank you, Prabhu.
I don't know if I answered your question or not, but I hope.
You also mentioned when during the first meeting of Ramananda Raya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they embraced and there was such an aesthetic feeling. But when the Brahmanas saw that they were getting a bit bewildered, our Lord Chaitanya actually refrained from this, showing the symptoms. So sometimes we also notice read that Srila Prabhupada also exhibited these symptoms, but he refrained. So how should we look at this? How should we look at? Should the symptoms be like publicly exhibited, or should we refrain, or how?
Yeah, refrain, definitely refrain. Because what happens is when two things, there's two problems when these are exhibited publicly. Two problems. First problem is that people start praising the devotee. Oh, he's so ecstatic. And that pride can come in. And that's a danger for the practicing devotee. And number two, if devotees publicly exhibit this ecstatic symptoms, others will start imitating without having the qualification. Unqualified people imitate them and fool the public and try to make out they're very advanced devotees, and they're not actually. There was one Brahmana who was envious of Haridas Thakur because he was getting so much respect from the people. Because he's Haridas Thakur is such a great devotee. Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai. So this Brahmana started imitating Haridas Thakur and he started showing ecstatic symptoms apparently in public. People could make out he's not ecstatic, he's just pretending. So one of the devotees said one of the way to test if he got ecstatic symptoms is to give him a little hit him with a stick and see how he feels pain or not. If you're ecstasy, you should not feel any pain. Let's do this test. So they start beating him and he started howling, yeah, stop it. He said, then you're not ecstatic, you're just a bluff. You're just bluffing. So like that, it caused disturbance in the society. They call sahajiyas. Should become sahajiyas.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the explanation. I think we're running out of time.
Yeah, no problem. Great pleasure to be with all of you. Thank you very much.
I request Krishna Prabhu to give a word of thanks.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
How are you, Prabhu?
So very happy to see all of you devotees.
So on behalf of us, so much for coming and giving your association.